Hello everyone, Irish Commander here, and once again, we got an unboxing. Seems like that's what most of my videos are becoming. Not particularly what I had planned, but we're going to work with it. And if you're wondering why these are all small orders in these smaller boxes, that's because rather than ordering a bunch of stuff all at once, I'm deciding to space it out a bit, so that way it's a little bit easier on my bank account. So let's get all these packing peanuts out of here so we can see the great amount of markers I have ordered. And geez, yeah, I have about cleared them out. Well, let's start off with the one thing that isn't a marker in here, or should I say the one set of things. So as you guys know, I have colored dice, like a bunch of dice that I use for rolling my battles and whatnot, anything that involves a 12-sided die. And I was going through all my Global War 36 stuff, and I happened to be looking at the dice, and I noticed I didn't have a black set of dice. So I thought, you know what? Shouldn't be that much for a set of black dice. Because I did have white and I did have gray, but I didn't have black. So I thought, you know what? Shouldn't be too much. And I'm going to regret pouring this out, but we're going to look at these now. So these are about 90% of all the markers I needed for this game. So let's have a look at the ones that aren't in this big set here first. We will get to these eventually. As you can see here, we got Airborne, Colonial Troops, Infantry, whichever you wish to call it, and Elite Airborne, since those are now in version 4. You can see I got a great many of these Colonial Troops and Airborne. I didn't get that many of the Elite Airborne, since they are a relatively new thing and I haven't seen them been used as much. But I have seen a fair amount of people use these Colonial Troops and Airborne. So I thought, well, I'll get those and see how they end up doing on the battlefield. Hopefully they do pretty good. And this is actually from all the way back in version 2. So initially, I wasn't going to order this. I was actually going to order some mountain infantry to go along with the rest of these. But all the mountain infantry was out of stock, so I was either going to have to wait or look for another way to get them. And so I thought, wouldn't it be nice if there was a set of markers I could get? And, you know, not only did they end up having the mountain infantry, which by itself was out of stock, but they also ended up having the Marines. And although I do already have my own way of doing militia and cavalry, I now have militia and cavalry markers. So if I ever need to label them in any way, I might actually use these to label the boxes or spaces they're in. So actually, you know what? I'm going to spill this out after the video anyways. So let's just get all the markers out here. So obviously this includes a crap ton of militia. But other than different infantry classes, you can see we have a couple of different markers in here as well. Let's see, we got air bases under construction, obviously. Escort duty. You see we got sub bases, got a couple of radar markers in here. I'm sure there's other things like, look, we got shipyards. So this is the, what was called the base set of markers for version 2 of Global War 36. So that's basically all that's in this order. And that's also why it's such a bland order. Initially, it was just going to be the markers here, but the dice were sort of a last-minute thing. And I kind of did want to spice up the order in some sort of way because I thought it would be boring with just markers. So, 4 dice. Spice it up a little bit. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all for this order, and ultimately this video. And I will say, next week will certainly be a little bit more interesting. It will be sort of focused on roundels for the minor nations. However, I will say that that's not exclusively what's in there. Like, it's not just all the Canadian, all the British colony roundels. Like, it's not just that. There are different things in there that I threw in. Not just to spice up the order, like with these dice here. But I also did plan on getting those things at some point, so I just threw them in. But we'll have to wait till next week. Or who knows, maybe it'll be less than a week. But we will eventually be finding that out. So until then, this is Irish Commander, signing off.